Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Razzle Von Dazzle. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I'm up against it today, Richard.
Fuck,
I'm really snowed on. I just tired.
Up against it.
I'm just a lot to do. Busy week, so it's
yeah.
But here we are. We're doing it. We're grinding.
It's Dorktober, but we're doing something non-horror today. We're doing something non-horror today.
Yes.
Ryan, let me ask you this. Let's just as each week we I think it's another peek behind the curtain of our lives to the listener out there. Do you have a favorite fall activity? Is it a pumpkin patch? Is it a apple pick? Is it raking leaves and then jumping in a pile? Is it something other than those three things?
I enjoy apple flavored pastries.
Is that right? You're an apple flavored guy.
So apple cider donuts.
That is
maybe a nice apple pie. You know what I mean? I think those are all fall things.
Fall things.
I also like the when the leaves, as being Northerners, as you and I are. I do like the foliage. I'm not going to drive anywhere to see. I get no better leaves than in the Farmington Valley in Connecticut.
Don't have to leave the house.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point. I do like a lot of the pumpkin flavored stuff. I like a pumpkin roll. I like a pumpkin donut. I like a pumpkin beer.
It's what makes us different. That makes us, great.
Great. I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
that's true. Speaking of that, we'll hear from those gentlemen later on in the month of hashtag October as well. Mac and Go. We'll hear from them. Ryan, you ready for the news?
I think so.
Okay. First things first, Ryan. Zoe Kravitz has been cast as Selena Kyle / Catwoman in the upcoming Batman movie. What do you think?
All in on this.
Great call.
All a great call.
Yeah.
Take that, Halle Berry.
So it's Michelle Pfeiffer, it's Halle Berry, and it's Anne Hathaway. That is the current competition. She is immediately better than Halle Berry's. Just showing up.
Yep, just showing up
better.
Day one, showing up. You're better.
I think she'll already be better than Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway is obviously a good actress, but she was a bad Catwoman.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. You know what I mean? I like
something was off. Something was missing.
This was going to be my pick of the pod, but I'll pick something else. I started actually finally watching Gotham.
How far did you get?
I'm still in the middle of the first season. I literally just started. I've never seen the whole thing.
Got it. Not to spoil anything, but I actually stopped. I stopped watching.
Okay. I like my Selena Kyle to be a bit of a street rat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought Anne Hathaway was a little too
clean. Like I know
too fancy.
I know she was a cat burglar and all, but she looked a little clean. A little too clean.
I like a street rat one.
Michelle Pfeiffer I liked. She was very on the nose cat-like, however.
A lot of cat.
There's mostly cat. You know those people that make themselves look like cats?
Yeah.
What's the end game?
Very slinky, as I would say.
Slinky. Is it something that they think that other people will find attractive, or they just they're happier themselves?
It's a choice.
Yep.
Which choice things are choices. Some are good, some are bad. The one thing that I do like about that, I know you're not an Instagram guy. She still has the whip.
Oh, hello.
She can still do it.
Who, Michelle Pfeiffer?
She's still got the whip.
Yeah, I love Michelle Pfeiffer. Have for a long time. But no, Zoe Kravitz will be good. So suddenly now the cast of The Batman is Robert Pattinson, aka Robert Pattinson, playing Batman.
Oh.
You have Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. You have Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon.
Which is great.
I think that'll be good. And then you have Jonah Hill as an unknown to this point villain.
Question mark?
But anyway,
I think their front runner leader in the clubhouse he's the Riddler, right?
Yeah, I think Riddler, because everybody thought Penguin at first.
Too on the nose.
I think a little too on the nose. Probably Riddler. Calendar Man, if it's Long Halloween, has a pretty good role in it, but I think Riddler has a more significant role.
Yeah.
So I think it'll probably be Riddler. And this movie, I believe, is set to come out June 25th, 2021.
All right. So they're going to start filming pretty soon. They're casting now, so they're going to start filming within the calendar year, right?
Right. Yeah. Speaking of comic book movies, have you kept up with any of this Jeremy Renner stuff?
A little bit. You mentioned it to me, kind of in the outline.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those stories. It's a classic. He said, she said.
It really is. Like if you read one article, he's the biggest piece of shit of all time. If you read another article, well, maybe she's crazy. And
maybe
it's like
she's crazy.
I don't know what to believe.
It's and with all these cases, it's something in the middle.
Right. For it to get to this point.
Yeah.
It's ugly, though.
Am I saying that he's a terrible person? No. Am I saying that maybe he partook in the booger sugar a little bit? Wouldn't put it past him.
Wouldn't put it past him. Do you think he will be Hawkeye in the Hawkeye series?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
they're not going to recast him or anything. Not yet, anyway.
But I don't think he's going to be in it that much. I think it's going to be
I don't think he will anyway. But
an episode
because it's Disney. I'm sure they're like, ugh, do we really have to deal with this?
They fucking the whole James Gunn thing. Don't even bring that up again. That horse shit.
If James Gunn could get canned for old bad tweets, like please.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Zombieland Double Tap comes out this week. On a scale of 1 to 6, how excited are you for Zombieland Double Tap?
3.
Yeah, I'm really low myself.
Not really. I'm like,
it's funny because when we went over the movies that were coming out in 2019, back at the beginning of the year, this was like probably on my top 10 easy, like most anticipated. But then as we get closer to it, I'm like, I'll wait for it to come out.
And just like you're looking at the trailers, it kind of just looks like people are mailing it in, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. I don't
think that Jesse Eisenberg wants anything to do with this, you know?
No, and think about it. Like Emma Stone and Woody Harrelson are doing like Oscar-nominated stuff
exactly like,
all the time.
Yeah,
Abigail Breslin's probably happy to be back in a motion picture. You know, do that. And then they gave away. It seems like they gave away some of the spoilers in the trailers too.
A lot of the spoilers and a lot of like probably like the best gag you had.
Yeah,
with the doppelgangers, right?
Yeah. Why waste that?
I don't know.
Maybe they get something else up their sleeve.
Maybe they do. Yeah,
I'm not a screenwriter.
Who's to say?
Ryan, we got an early pick of the pod here, sadly, and this was crazy timing too. But Robert Forster, who you may not even know the name right away, but you've seen him in a million things, including the topic du jour.
Yep.
He was in Breaking Bad. He was in this El Camino movie. He, of course, was in Jackie Brown, where he had a big role. Was really good in Jackie Brown. He's kind of a classic that guy.
I was gonna. It's funny. You took the words right out of my mouth. He's like, oh, he's that guy. Oh, that guy. You know, like Steven Tobolowsky. He's like that guy.
Yeah.
We get there.
The Brocktoberfest. Thanks for asking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from Idle Hands. Yeah, it's a delicious beverage. But and I'm gonna pour one out for Robert Forster. Good actor, good man by all accounts.
I would pour out my bourbon maple smash, but I'm not going to do that. Speaking of fall things,
is that what you're drinking? I was curious. It looked like an IPA, but I know you don't drink a ton of IPA.
It's not. It's got
Antsy got some ice.
It's got some clinky. It's got some clinkies in there too.
You got some yellow in there.
Of
course,
they caught me off guard. It always gets me.
Spanish for ice.
Spanish habla. It gets me.
Wait, what are you drinking? Fucking what?
A bourbon smash.
Okay.
So a maple bourbon. So basically, it's bourbon.
All right.
Lemon juice and a little bit of maple syrup.
Come on, you put maple syrup in your goddamn drink?
Oh yeah, baby.
What are you, fucking Will Ferrell from Elf?
Just gives a little something. You know.
All right. Well,
don't yuck my yum, Rich. It's very good.
I wouldn't. No, you drink whatever you want to drink, my man. I'm never going to sit here and tell you what to do with your life. You're a grown ass man. That's all. Ryan, it's a short news week.
Yeah,
it's a short news week for me. Check out all the hashtag Dorktober stuff that we've already put out there. But let's get to Ryan. There's actually a significant piece of news here. Your news.
Yeah.
Let's get to your news.
Okay.
What do you got?
So John Wick Hex, the game that I've been dying to play, which is kind of like a John Wick game, but it's kind of like turn-based.
Okay.
So you play as John Wick, which is fun. And then it's like a time-based, turn-based kind of thing where you can take out multiple people, but you have to decide like how you do it. Like one of the things is you can throw your gun at them, which stuns them. So that gives you more time.
Okay. I like that.
And then at the end of the level, like they replay everything you did. So it looks awesome. So it's kind of like super hot in that way.
Okay.
And I'm having a lot of fun with it. So there we go. There's the news.
No, Ryan, I feel like there might be more video game news. I feel like there was something kind of significant that may have been trending all day Sunday, all day Monday into Tuesday morning.
I don't know. I think I missed it. I don't know.
Oh, I feel like it was a significant piece of news that people were talking about. People didn't know what to make of it.
I don't want to talk about it at all.
I hate it. People turned to this podcast to get their video game news. I feel like it would be negligent to ignore this news.
I hate it so bad. I hate it.
I feel like you're going to re-download and play it.
fine. No, I'm not, because I actually looked at the rundown of what is going on with Fortnite, what was happening. I was intrigued by the, it's like Fortnite Chapter 2, right? Like they're going to come out with this new thing. It's going to be this new game, this new, like, kind of everything's kind of like polished, and there's really nothing that different. It's the same game. It looks a little bit different. It's a different map. You can fish now.
Was this Red Dead Redemption 2?
Because I know when there's 199 other people looking to shoot me.
Yeah.
Stop and have a fish.
Yeah. Put that lure in. You never know what you might catch.
And I guess there's like some new ranking system now where you can like gain experience points by doing certain things and fulfilling challenges,
like
which is
fishing.
Fishing is one of them. Like I just don't. And again, I'm not one to, if you really love Fortnite, great. I hope, I get an invitation to your 12th birthday party. Like, I really do. Like, if you're really into it.
Well, it's funny. Today we were playing on during Keefe Madness. We were playing some of the reactions of kids who were upset about Fortnite, like going down, because it was gone from Sunday at 2 till Tuesday at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's just one high-pitched loser kid after another screaming about Fortnite being gone. And it disappeared into the abyss, and they took the game away, which is amazing because so many kids, as you know, are not even just kids, some adults too, are just straight up addicted to this game.
Like straight up.
And they could not play it all day Monday.
And they couldn't, and their kids were like,
I love it.
Even Shime tweeted out, he was like, if I can't play Fortnite until Tuesday, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, you're gonna carry on with your life.
Yeah, he had a shake.
You're gonna go to work and you're gonna be fine.
He was a little upset about it. And I actually think it's really good, like, marketing, because Fortnite was still popular, but I think it was starting to lose some people.
Yeah.
And then you pull a stunt like this, and I think people are kind of back in, and they were intrigued by it. They're like, oh, why is Fortnite trending? And everybody was paying attention to it. And now they're probably going to have another record for like a number of people that were playing today.
Like millions of people probably re-downloaded this game today just to see what it was all about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the appeal. I think it's kind of cartoony. I think it's goofy. And I think, like, some battle royale, there is some merit to battle royale. I think it's really fun. It could be really fun. I just don't think anyone's really nailed it yet. I think the fort aspect of Fortnite, like, really turns me off.
There's a lot of forts.
There's a lot of building.
Yeah.
And if you're not good at building, like, and I feel like playing, and I know there are some players in the world who are super, super good at it, but playing with a controller, you're at an incredible disadvantage.
Yes.
So, I'm a majority console player, but hey, you know what? Get John Wick Hex for $20. Have yourself some fun. Watch the trailer. It's super fun.
Oh, by the way, since we're in the video game minute, Ryan, I propose we get the gang back together for one time only in #Dorktober and get a Friday the 13th going.
I stream it.
Yeah, you can stream it. We can YouTube it. We can do whatever you want. I think that'd be a good time.
There is a bit of news, Richard, too. I know this is kind of a waffle on my part, but it's for a good cause. No, it's for a good cause. I will be taking part in Movember once again and doing streams for Movember, just the month of November.
Oh, nice!
Just to bring it. I know it's a bit of a waffle on my part, but it's for a good cause.
It is for a good cause, and actually, I feel like I could be wrong here. I feel like last November might have been your best month from last year. I feel like a lot of people took part.
Oh my god, it was incredible! Yeah. It was an incredible month, and something that I look forward to doing again. And again, I look forward to working with Nina again. Twitch partner Shannon Nina. So
good. I like that. Good
stuff. Yep.
All right, good. So get back. So don't go anywhere on the old Twitch stream. Check it out in November. So coming up in just a few short weeks, you can get back there, watch Davey stream, and we'll definitely do a Friday the 13th at some point too, and we'll have it on
be fun. Yeah.
At Dork Podcast. We'll tweet out where to go to watch it, because that game is a blast to play and to watch for like once a year.
One night.
That's all
one
you
night
need.
only.
That's all you need. Ryan, I got another question for you. Are you ready for the topic du jour?
It's not Fortnite, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not Fortnite. I'm glad you asked. It's the topic of the day. And today, Ryan, it is El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie.
Yeah.
Hence why we did the full court press on all of the Breaking Bad seasons, which again, you can check out in our archives. Breaking Bad season 1 was episode 75. And then you can check out more recently with season 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're doing El Camino, which was a 2-hour and 2-minute movie, which was released on Netflix and select theaters. It is currently, last check on Rotten Tomatoes, 94% by the critics, 84% by the audience. We start as we always do, non-spoiler, in our movie and TV reviews. I ask you, Ryan, did you like it?
Oh, yes. I did. With some caveats, but I did. I did very much enjoy it. I did.
Okay.
I actually watched it 3 times.
What? Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's 6 hours and 6 minutes of your life.
Wife was gone at a wedding this weekend. I had
Fair enough.
nothing but time, baby.
Yeah,
nothing but time, baby. Yep.
My answer would be, meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
I liked it. Ask me something else.
Let me just add, not to steal not to play on your side of the street, but my 2-word review of El Camino, not great. Not great. It sure shit wasn't like bad.
No.
Like, it can't be bad. Like when it's Vince Gilligan and when it's these characters, there's no way it can be bad. But it definitely to me wasn't great. My follow-up would be almost like what we were doing with like the Joker movie. They're different, but like the same kind of question. Did we need this?
Nope.
For sure not.
Did not.
For sure not. Especially because Breaking Bad had one of the greatest series finales of all time.
But didn't the Jesse thing nag at you though? Didn't his ending just stopped? It just stopped. Like he was screaming in the car and you just assumed that he got away?
Yeah.
But did you know?
It didn't necessarily nag at me, but in a way I thought it was my only criticism of the finale. I thought it tied it up too neatly. I was like, because everybody liked him, myself included.
Yeah.
And I just thought, okay, like all this shit that happened and he gets away. Like I was like, like I could go either way. I still, don't get me wrong, love the finale, love the show. But I was like, all right, he got away. And I guess if you're going to make a movie, because let's face it, movies that came after television shows is a difficult endeavor. I think Serenity was good for Firefly, but Firefly was also only like 13 episodes.
It was like one season.
Or whatever, how many episodes it was. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like they had 62 episodes and then a movie. But you definitely didn't need it.
Well, you definitely didn't need it. But what I always found fascinating is just the trajectories of like Walt and Jesse, because Walt starts the story as being like this like upright citizen, like this guy's, he's a teacher, he works with kids, and then he just becomes like the most unimaginable piece of shit.
One of the worst villains in the history of television.
Jesse goes the other way.
Yeah.
So he starts as like this like complete loser piece of shit, and it's actually like redeemed throughout the story. So it was interesting, and you see how Walt ends. Now you see how Jesse ends. It's a lot. This is a terrible comparison too, but like you need to see how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. You know what I mean? You need to like to put a bow on that.
You thought that you did.
You thought that you did, but like when someone pitched that, you're like, that's a good story.
Right.
So did I like this? Yes, I loved what it did. Did I need to see this? No, I did not. It did not need to happen, but I'm glad it did.
See, to me, I don't even know if it added enough, and we'll get into that in spoilers. So there were 62 episodes of Breaking Bad. Ballpark, rough estimate. How many do you think were better than this movie? Now, this was obviously basically like 2.5 episodes worth of show, but how many episodes would you sit down and think were better than this?
20.
See, I think it'd be more than 30. I think it would be more than half.
My gut said 31.
Yeah,
I would put it right in the middle. Half. But I think 20.
Yeah, I just think, and it's difficult when you do a movie that also involves so much flashbacks.
Yeah,
because you kind of know, it leaves some of the tension because you know kind of what's going to happen to some of the characters, right?
Right.
And so I thought you had a lot of that. So I think it was sort of a tough spot, but then they did give you some new stuff. Did you think that it hurt any of the characters or the show in any way?
Not the show, but one character in particular that we'll get to in spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
One character in particular.
Yeah, I could see at least one character being a little bit worse.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily hurts the show because you don't really even need it. Like we were saying, like you don't even need to watch it and you can still enjoy Breaking Bad on its own.
And if someone asked me, I just finished Breaking Bad, do I need to watch El Camino? I'd be like, no. Not really.
But it's also not like, and this is very topical in Dorktober, it's also not like the movie Halloween and then the movie Halloween 6.
No.
And it's like, wait a minute, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean?
What is going on?
Yeah, like you don't do any of that. Like you don't take it, it's not like with so many horror sequels where they take something and you're like, this big reveal that this thing that you thought all along isn't true. And you're like, wait a minute, now you're fucking with the whole original story?
No, they didn't undo anything.
Right.
Which is great.
So then that's fine. I think we've seen about 20 movies, or at least we've done like a bunch of reviews so far.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this ranks probably somewhere in the middle of the pack for movies.
It's top 10 for me.
Is it?
It's top 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that I like what it did. And one, like I said, what you just said, one of the things, it didn't undo anything. It didn't retcon anything.
Yeah, thank God. That would have been, people would have been fired up about
People would have been fired up. And I was reading an article we'll get to in spoilers about Vince Gilligan's original ending, how he originally wanted to end it. And it was very different. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that coming up here. What is your hashtag dork score for El Camino?
5. Solid 5.
I'm going 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going 5.
Okay. All right, we got a lot to unpack here. Anything else you want to hit on before? I mean, obviously you like it very much. If it's a 5, it's a watch. And if you're a Breaking Bad fan, I'm sure you've already seen it.
And what it is, like you said, it's for fans. It's for this movie is for Breaking Bad fans. If you were a casual Breaking Bad watcher, or you're like, I thought it was good, but not my favorite show. Like this movie, this is all fan service.
But I'll tell you what, it is fan service. But I'll tell you what I'm really happy I didn't spend $20 on it. I'm fucking real happy I didn't go to the theater for it.
Not a theater movie.
Watching it on Netflix, you're like, okay. And considering Netflix has really good shows and for the most part, really poor movies.
Yeah.
This is better than most of the movies.
This is better. This is the best Netflix movie I've seen this year.
Yeah, probably. I can't think of any others, like the Adam Sandler one. Like,
no, thank you.
What else was there? So yeah,
Except that one he does have coming out actually looks Uncut Gems or whatever it is. That
does look good.
That looks actually pretty good.
But is that Netflix?
That's Netflix, yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
He's got like an exclusive deal with Netflix now, I think.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. So Davey's giving it a 5. I'm giving it a 3.5. Should we get to spoilers?
Yeah, man. Hit it.
All right, spoilers. Let's go first. I'm curious what you were saying about the ending that Vince Gilligan was gonna do.
Okay. Are we into spoilers? Spoilers. Okay. So the movie obviously ends with Jesse getting to Alaska, Jesse starting a new life, having everything down. And the movie was, so Vince Gilligan had that thing. Remember in the beginning scene, he's with Skinny Pete and he's with Badger. And he wakes up in Skinny Pete's room and he can't. So he had this idea early on when he was writing it that for the whole movie that Jesse doesn't go back to sleep. He can't sleep. And that kind of so he's playing with this idea of not being able to go to sleep because he's going to wake up and be in the cage again.
Yeah.
So he has this idea that eventually Jesse gets caught and then he winds up in prison. And that's the first time he sleeps. He can finally rest. That he's in prison,
that makes sense.
It does, but then he was starting to think about it, to have him start the movie basically in a cage and then end in a cage. People would have been bullshit.
Yeah, probably.
And so, especially super fans like us. I mean, I think the way it ended was great. It's the opposite of how Waltz ended.
It is the opposite, and I guess in that case it should have been. I do like. Not that they necessarily in season 5 glossed over the fact that Jesse was being held captive, but I don't know if they gave it as much significance as it really should have.
No,
you know what I mean? Think about what his day-to-day was like.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they showed some of it, and they showed him in the hole. They showed him cooking meth, and then they showed him escape.
And they showed him giving him ice cream.
Yeah, there's a Todd scene where he gave him ice cream, and you're like, okay.
And it looks shitty, but it did. I mean, he was dirty, but it didn't look that bad. You know what I mean?
That was the other thing I would always say about Jesse is for a guy who was doing meth and all these other drugs, for the most part, always looked handsome and always looked relatively clean.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, for this movie, that was one of the things I was like, all right, good. That would mess somebody up so bad, what he was going through. And they showed that. So that was good. One thing I thought was a shame, and I guess going into it, I shouldn't have expected it because it was definitely billed as a Jesse Pinkman movie, but because it's the follow-up, it's a movie post Breaking Bad, and because it was 6 years later, and then especially after rewatching all of them, I wanted to see Saul Goodman, I wanted to see Skyler. I wanted to see, even just for a minute, Walt Jr., even though I don't like those two characters. I don't think you're supposed to, but I wanted to see the update of them. Even Marie, like, what are all of them doing with their lives? And we didn't get a second of any of those four characters.
Yeah, see, it was funny. For a second, I thought the letter he sent at the end, I thought that was going to be to Skyler.
Yeah, instead to Brock.
Instead it's to Brock, which makes more sense. But I'm like, is he going to send it to, or Marie? He was going to send a letter to Marie.
Yeah,
being like, I try, like,
Mm-hmm. But didn't you want to see what was going on with Saul Goodman at the very least?
I did, but that's what Better Call Saul's for. I mean, that's what that whole show's for.
So I'm hoping, I do hope that Better Call Saul, because Better Call Saul right now is all pre-Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So I do hope the show, and then I thought that was going to be tough. I'm like, well, you can't, as I'm watching it, I'm like, well, maybe you can't do it because then you're sort of tipping your hand into Better Call Saul.
But like, what if there's a flash forward in Better Call Saul? Like, say the last season of Better Call Saul, when they know it's the last season.
Yeah,
you could flash forward.
They started with a flash forward. They did, or present day, or whatever you want to call it, when he's doing the Cinnabon stuff.
Right, and maybe like, doesn't he have like a heart attack? He has a heart attack at some point, and then.
I mean, they could, and that show is like year to year at this point. Like, I don't think they've picked it up for 2 minutes, so they're probably go as long as they can. But so we don't get any of them. We do get some flashbacks though to other characters, and it sort of opens with him and Mike. And basically, to me, it was like, all right, so Mike's the one that gave him the idea to go to Alaska. Like, okay, whatever.
Well, I think they had that relationship where I think Jesse trusted Mike absolutely. And Mike kind of sells him on this idea of Alaska, of being like, you could do anything you want. Like because Jesse mentions it in the show that he's going to go to Alaska. And I think Badger says like, oh, I heard he like, or Skinny Pete was like, oh, I heard he like was in Alaska or something, like when he was in the cage.
Yeah.
So he must have mentioned it to somebody, so it was nice. And they did this a couple nice ways. Like stories that were told that were kind of like tangents are now real. Here, like where he got that idea to go to Alaska.
Yeah.
So, and that's the very beginning of the movie. So you're like, does he ever get there? Is he going to get there?
Right. A lot of the movie was with Todd and Jesse. And one of the issues I had.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about before.
They look like, first of all, I look way worse now than I did 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But those guys, like Todd's like fat and old now compared to what he was.
Yeah. Like he's kind of fat now.
Yeah. And he's supposed to be the character from like that season, even earlier than like how he ended and how he was killed. So this all led up to his death. And like, I don't know, I thought it was kind of lame. They're like, oh, like the significance with him getting choked with the belt. I'm like, that seemed kind of forced because he killed his cleaning lady with the belt. It was just so much of the two of them. And it was all like, to my point, there was no real tension, which was some of the best stuff in Breaking Bad. Like you didn't know when Walt might die, or you didn't know when Jesse might die, or when Hank might die, or who would find out about who, or all the stuff with Gus. Any flashback scene with Todd and Jesse, you're like, okay. And then even when Jesse comes across these new characters that were the guys that rigged up the thing that would chain him up while he was cooking meth, you knew Jesse wasn't going to die because it was a flashback. So like they had a gun pointed on him and like, well, he's not going to shoot him. Like I was just like, I didn't care about any of that.
I really liked the aspect of this where you kind of saw the level at which Todd kind of fucked with Jesse, like on a daily basis. And there's that scene where he's like tells him to get the key. He's not threatened by him at all. And he's just like, get something out of the glove box. There's something in the glove box. Get it. And he gets the gun. And Todd just like looks at him and is like, give me the gun.
Yeah. Cause he knows like, all right, we're going to
you kill me. You kill me. You kill Brock. Like, yeah, right. That's over with. And he knows Jesse's not going to do anything. So I like that. What I didn't like is the thing with the maid. I thought that was just like, I like kind of psycho Todd. Like
that was just like
full on psycho Todd. Like I didn't like
Todd killing the kid in the desert was so messed up, but like you got it. And because
and he even explains it like it's necessity. Like I had to do it. Like it's fucked up, but like,
and like the episode before, Walt and Jesse are telling him how like nobody can know, like they're drilling it in his head that like this is so secretive, you can't say shit. And he's like, he basically did that because those guys told him to, and now he's killing his cleaning lady because
she found money. Like you could have explained that, be like, yeah, I save it just in case. Like I just save it just in case, and you know what I mean. Like you didn't have to go full psycho like that.
And I felt like that was most of the movie. It was him and Todd.
That was like the second act. It was like the whole thing.
I didn't
it was like
need
him
as
in
much
Todd's
of it.
apartment.
I didn't need nearly as much of him and Todd, especially because we saw some of him and Todd in Breaking Bad.
You did, but like this was kind of, and it was a way for Jesse to get, because he knew you had to get him in Todd's apartment to know that there was money there.
Right.
You know, so there had to be, I just think there could have been a better way to do that.
Yeah, I just felt like they took a long time to get there.
It did take, and that was kind of like my knock on it. Like I didn't like Fat Todd.
Because then you go in with the dude who's in Righteous Gemstones, and he's in the Mick, the main guy that like rigged up the thing to him.
The welder, yeah.
That main guy.
Yeah.
You have a lot of scenes with him too. And I'm like, this is a show that gave us Hector Salamanca and Gus Fring and even Uncle Jack and Todd and Walter White. Like those guys were villains. Like this guy was like just a slap. Like I was like, all right, whatever. Like he would have been, he wouldn't even have if he was in the series, you wouldn't even remember him.
You wouldn't remember. And that was part of it too, that I thought you needed a character like that who was around, but like you wouldn't necessarily remember.
Right. And there's no reason for him to be featured.
And the other thing that kind of annoyed me, like I was fine with it, but like Jesse goes and asks him for like nothing. He asked him for like $1,800.
Yeah.
And like you probably spent more on coke for this party, like
right. And the
kid,
prostitutes that came.
He showed you where the money. It'd be like it's a finder's fee. Just give me $1,800. We're done.
And then they do a duel. They do a duel like Wild West.
like a Wild West, man.
Like Doc Holliday.
I mean that was kind of cool.
That
was kind of cool.
I like a duel. I like a standoff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like and then you had the flashback with Walt,
which is it's a story that Walt told. He said it to Jesse. They were like having a good day, and he's like, "Remember, like after the battery died, where we got in the hotel, we got the hotel." And that's a story that actually happened, but they actually show it to you,
right? Which
is like, and I love the bit where he's like, you know, Jesse, like you can go back and like get your GED, and he's like, "What are you talking about?"
Like it's much more of a father-son thing.
Yeah, but he's like, I have a high school diploma. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Like you were, He just thinks so low of him.
He's like, you were standing on the fucking stage, and I got it.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah. I mean, that happens. I could tell you as an educator, you know, you're just like, oh,
you can't remember everybody. I don't fault you for that. I just thought for Walter White being one of the great television characters of all time, him to be in this movie, I was hoping for a little bit more. Like for one scene like that, I was like,
yeah, it was cool though when Jesse walks out. He's clearly talking to Jane. And he walks out. He walks out of the hotel room, and he kind of stops and looks at the other room, and you see Walt come out. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was a good reveal. But then I was hoping for a little bit more. And then you mentioned Jane. That to me might have been the best part of the movie because first of all, I like Jane. I like Jessica Jones, and him talking to her because like clearly that one sticks with him the most. And so for him to be talking to her and her to like be giving him advice and stuff, like I thought that was fine.
What does she say? She says something like the effect of like, that's just my reality. Like you do whatever you want. Like you can do whatever you want.
No, he says, I admire the way that you say, like, let the universe take you wherever it pleases.
Oh, and she said, the universe has been taking me everywhere my whole life.
Yeah, like, you need to make your own decisions.
Yeah, you can do whatever. Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, no shit. But I don't know. I guess I wanted more, and I was just so excited for it because we watched all the episodes, and I was like, all right, fine.
It was definitely slower than I thought it was going to be. There was a lot of building, and I thought the thing with the cops, non-cops, was great tension.
Yeah,
you thought like they arrested him, and they didn't. Whether they were dirty cops or whoever they were, like you didn't know who those guys were.
Yeah. I thought some of the Skinny Pete stuff was good, like this, like Skinny Pete coming up with a plan to like send one car one way, one car whatever way. But the scene where Skinny Pete and Badger are playing video games and talking shit to each other, it's a direct ripoff of Paul Rudd's Seth Rogen 40-year-old version.
It dedefinitely felt that way.
It was the same. It was shot the same way. It was like the way they were talking back and forth. I'm like, yeah, guy, we've already seen the movie. Like, what are you doing?
But it's also a good way to show that like so much has happened to Jesse, and these guys are the exact same. These guys are like unfazed by everything that has gone on because there's nothing. If Jesse was sitting with them, they'd be doing the same thing. You know, they don't.
Right.
But it was nice to see. Skinny Pete calls Jesse his hero.
Yeah. And he gives him his hat.
Gives him his hat, and like That's such like a meaningful thing because he wears that. I think he wears that hat in every episode.
Skinny does. Yeah. And then the stuff with Robert Forster was obviously pretty good.
Yeah, just the fact that he like
would not have it, and then needed the exact amount of money, and then he does eventually take him to Alaska. But it was like they do a 2-hour movie. Jesse gets away at the end of Breaking Bad, and then you do a 2-hour movie where Jesse gets away. That's like my point. Like, okay, they showed a little bit of kind of like the PTSD that he suffered, but then nothing really changes, which is both good and bad because you don't want to change a great show in any way. But then why do we watch a 2-hour movie for nothing to happen?
Because it feels not like you assumed that Jesse got away, but you didn't know. I mean, for me, it was a nice kind of coda to what this show was, and that something went right. And maybe that's not for somebody, something went right. Because you think about like this, we talk about the show all the time being such a tragedy. Like everything that happens in this is a tragedy. And it was nice as just like a little, you said 62 episodes. So that's, I don't know. I can't do like 45 minutes, but like how many hours that is of television.
Yeah, it's rough. Just 50 and change.
50, just to have 2 hours of just like good.
Yeah.
Good. That worked.
All right.
Because think of like how much Jesse was almost there and it got fucked up. Or he's almost to the end.
Yeah, but
I think out and then he got pulled back in.
But
and then
part of the show, what I like is that Walter White ruined everyone's lives.
But he didn't.
That he touched. See, I think he should have. Well, he kind of still did, though.
He kind of still did. And that was a great...
He didn't kill him, but he basically let his girlfriend die, convinced him to break up with his other girlfriend, vis-a-vis got her killed, and then now he has to live in Alaska.
Tried to kill her son. And it was nice that like he absolutely ruined, Jesse indirectly ruined Brock's life. Oh, so to have him write him that letter.
We didn't get an update on him. They should have had an update on him, like doing meth.
One of the great things and that happens in the very beginning of the movie too, when Jesse says, "Oh yeah, you get to start over in Alaska and make things right," and Mike says, "That's the one thing you can't do."
Yeah, that was a good line.
Like you will never be able to do that. Yeah, I thought that was great, and that played out in the end.
Yeah,
like, you're never going to make everything right. But
but to me, like we talked about why season 3 and 4 were so good was because it was so much Gus Fring.
Mm-hmm.
And like you didn't have anybody like that in this.
Well, there's nobody left.
There's nobody left, right?
There's nobody
left.
You
didn't even create anybody like this, or even try to. Or I mean, it's tough in 2 hours.
It's 2 hours. I don't think you have enough time to develop one of those characters. It's all Jesse, and Jesse's in every single scene.
I was just surprised. I was surprised that it got. I mean, I know you liked it, and I know why, but they're like 94% of the critics liked it. Like, I guess it's like shot well, and it's Vince Gilligan, but
of course. The shot.
Nothing fucking happened.
The shot when the cop or the fake cop is looking into the mattress, and all of a sudden you see the gun and like Jesse's face come out of the shadow.
Yeah,
what a great shot that was.
Also, the scene where Jesse is looking through the house, Todd's house, and they do the bird's eye view of it, and he's like in all the rooms, like awesome the montage, shot, like the speed up.
Yeah,
like that. Like I'd rather have something happen than just like it look cool. Mm-hmm. That's the way I am.
Yeah.
Did you have any other favorite parts that we didn't hit on, or any other parts that you maybe thought weren't great? Because basically the movie was this: like he escapes from there. They show you how he escapes. Then he catches up with Skinny Pete and Badger. They realize that they announce that Walter White is dead. So Jesse is now a wanted suspect. Everybody's after Jesse. So he knows that he has to go back to the vacuum guy to get gone. The vacuum guy, though, he already stood up once.
Yes, he made him pay again.
He made him pay again, so he had to get more money. He knows where the money is. That's where he runs into Todd's guy there, and then he has to get the money from him. Then he gets the money, then he's in Alaska. That's the movie.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, that's very reductionist. You don't play into like the emotional range that goes into it.
I cannot believe you watched this movie 3 times.
Yeah, I loved it.
Jeepers crud.
Nothing else. There's nothing else.
You love it so much.
Patriots weren't on.
Why don't you marry it?
I tried. Wife wasn't having it.
Wouldn't have it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're still legally married, right?
Yeah. Like I can't. Yeah.
That's a good point.
She was talking about the kids and whatever.
Does your wife watch Breaking Bad?
So She feels, and like she's super. We had an actual like.
Don't say fight.
It wasn't a fight. Okay, it was a strong disagreement.
Okay.
And I said, it's one thing, because she's actually really stubborn about it, because she's like, I've seen enough of it. I get it. Like, she's seen me watch it and is like watched, like, I would say maybe 30% of the entire show.
Oh,
just
wow.
Just like being in the room.
Yeah.
Like, just like watching whatever. Like, she knows who the characters are.
See, that's actually like, very surprising to me, because...
Well, don't you think?
Well, I was saying, because I was talking to Dale about this, because Dale's never seen a single episode, and I said to him, I go, I'm not surprised that you say that, because you've either watched 0 episodes or every episode of Breaking Bad. Because once you start watching 1 or 2, you're gonna watch every single episode. But like, for example, my wife watched the whole show with me, but then I was like, "Ooh, like the movie's coming out," and she's like, "Nah," like didn't care about the movie.
Yeah, but here's the thing that drives me crazy about, and we're airing out some Davey family business, but it's all right. My wife is one of those people. My wife is one of those people who are like, if you tell her, she will do something on her own, but if you tell her to do it, she won't do it.
Yep,
she absolutely will not do it. And I'm like, it's not enough, because she's a huge Buffy fan, and she gets like super upset. She watched Riverdale in like a month, like 4 seasons. Right? She loves it.
4's back, baby.
Yeah, so she watched 3 seasons of Riverdale in like a month. And like, she gets on rolls like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you just... I'm like, it's one thing to like a show that you're really into. I'm like, this is the best show I have ever seen. And like, I'm no... You're
no Johnny come lately.
No, like, I've seen a lot of TV. I've seen a lot of movies. Like, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, that
this is my favorite show I have ever seen. And she's just like, well, I don't have to watch, because I've seen like enough of it. I'm like, no, you haven't. Like, you haven't seen. And just
that happens too with my wife. I think too hard of a sell.
Yeah, and
if I say a show's too good, then it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, and that was it. She's just like, no, I've seen enough.
God
like,
damn,
it's tough, man. And it's because I wanted to watch it so bad, so I can have someone to talk about it. Like, so I have an excuse to watch it again.
Yeah.
But then again, if Friday Night Lights comes back on Netflix, I'm like, you want to watch this again? She'd be like, yep.
Yep, I do.
Yep.
Tim Riggins. What's Tim Riggins up to?
That was one of the biggest fights we ever got into in our entire marriage. I actually watched 2 episodes of Friday Night Lights without her.
Oh boy.
That did not go over well.
Can't do it. That's a must lie situation.
Yeah.
Like,
it was like year 3 of marriage, and she's like wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah. Not good. You jumped ahead.
Yeah.
Brian, do you want to see any more Breaking Bad movies?
Nope.
What about like a Skylar and Marie? Where are they now? Movie?
No, thank you.
What about a Walter Jr. trying to pick up the family business? He's got a new meth recipe where the meth is red.
You know why that wouldn't work? He would just and I think instead of calling it El Camino, I have the perfect title for it. It's called What Is Going On? A Breaking Bad movie. And it's just like him just busting into rooms being like, what is going on?
That's not nice. You can't do that.
That's how he talks.
What if he's like, I'm going to Lewis's?
Yeah.
No, that's the name of going to Lewis's.
Yeah. Lewis is picking me up. A Breaking Bad story.
A Breaking Bad story. Of course, Saul Goodman. I guess we get the series at least.
We get Saul. So that's all I care about. What about a Huel and
Bill Burr, Kirby or whatever his name was?
Kirby, yeah.
I would. Yep, I'd watch that.
Kind of like a Thelma. Yeah.
Yes, of course I would watch that.
What about a Bogdan prequel?
Nah. How he got the car wash?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't want that.
I'm trying to think of like any other characters that I would love to see. I want to see. What about the guy Declan? What about Declan?
They killed Declan, I thought.
I know, but like have like a like him in like his operation in Phoenix.
Yeah, I'd probably watch it.
I'd check it out.
Yeah, because you don't know how he got there. You know what's going on with that guy.
You just know how it ended.
Yeah. Now, it'd be tough to do because he's getting older and he'd have to go way younger. But you could do like a Mike prequel, like when Mike was a cop.
Well, he did that.
He has a lot of stories.
They
did do a lot of it in Saul, or they talked about it. He talked about it, but we didn't see it all.
Mm-hmm. But like the story with the girl who was getting beaten up. Like if you actually saw that play out.
Well, like the full measures, half measures thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know.
Who would play a good young Mike Ehrmantraut?
Michael B. Jordan.
I mean, that kid can play anything.
That guy's a fucking great actor.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me saying.
Did you see Fan Four Stick?
I did.
Yeah.
That was great in that. For sure one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It was so bad. And it was like everybody said it was bad. I'm like it, but that was one of the ones that was so rare where like the trailer made it also look like it was the worst movie ever.
And it just
it was.
And then it didn't make any sense.
No. Dr. Doom showed up with like 2 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes to go. Like one of the greatest villains in all the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Just we'll just
you're like that's him.
Shoehorn him in there.
That's him. Why don't you change him?
Are you sure?
Change him. Just do anything. Yeah. All right. Anything else on El Camino? Breaking Bad movie?
I say watch it. I mean, if you're a huge fan, if you're a huge fan of the show, and you're looking for just like for some fan service, and like I said, it doesn't undo anything, which is the biggest strength to it. Is it tells a really good story.
I would take out the part of your sentence, and I think it still stands. I think do anything.
Well, I think it did, and I humbly disagree, and I think that it's worth a watch if you're a Breaking Bad fan. If you've seen the entire series more than once, it's for you.
Yeah.
All right. It's fan service, baby. Everyone loves a little fan service now and again.
I was gonna say the only reason I gave it a 3.5 was because Jesse Pinkman is the main character. It probably shouldn't even be that high. Nothing the fuck happened.
Sure did. He got to Alaska. Nice duel. We
didn't see him get the Hanes. We didn't see him set up shop.
Oh, you know what else?
By the way, how is he going to go buy a house or anything in Alaska? He's the most wanted guy in like Western United States.
Yeah, but they don't have they still have Blockbuster videos out there and shit, man. They don't know what's going on. They don't care either.
You know what they also have is vampires.
They do have vampires. What a great idea for a story that was, by the way.
That was incredible.
Like, isn't that one of those ones like vampires where it's eternally dark? Doesn't that piss you off that you didn't think of that?
Yeah. I was like, fuck, of course they would.
Damn it. Of course they would go there.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to stay warm. They don't have blood. So it doesn't. The worms are their money. So they might have trouble getting worms.
Bones are their dollars.
Okay. They might. Oh, so they can do bones. They can't do worms out there.
They pull your hair up, but not out.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Did you see that?
From under the ground and all over. The best.
Anyway,
you liked it.
Good shit. I liked it.
Right.
I liked it.
Ryan, should we get to the old pick of the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to kick, receive, defer, or defend a goal?
I will receive. I will take the ball.
What do you have?
The HBO comedy special, Gary Gulman, Peabody's own Gary Gulman.
Ooh, you got it. That's how I just saw this.
The Great Depression.
Yeah, very good.
It's not the funniest stand-up special I've seen, but one of the best. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
It was really good though. Like he did an incredible job of mixing in legitimately funny stuff.
Yep.
With really important stuff about fighting depression. Like
and
it was
mental health and
yes. Yeah. It was really good. I've liked him for a long time, and this was really good, and it was funny because I was like, man, haven't really heard much of him in a while, and he explains why.
And it's this completely like wide open thing where he's just like letting it rip, and it like you said, there's moments where he's being incredibly funny, and then there's shots of him in therapy with his wife, and they're just talking about like how low he got, and it was just an amazing thing to watch someone do that. And I think if you're concerned about mental health, or you're looking for somebody who's an advocate, like just watch that. Like there are some things he said that like I felt way better about myself.
Yeah.
When he's talking about like, I played sports because people said I was good at them, and like, but I really, really wasn't my thing. Like that hit home with me. Like I as you know, like I played 3 sports growing up, and I remember, and this is a true story. And Rich, you were there to witness it. Like I hated playing hockey so much my senior year, and I hurt my hand in a game, and I actually sat in our room and punched like a 3/4 inch like plywood board to try to break my hand so I wouldn't have to play anymore.
Yeah. And
that's the only way I knew how to like get out of that. And we
drew a bullseye on the board.
You let me do it. And then like I just couldn't. By the way, if you ever try to like break your own hand, like you're not going to be successful.
You're not going to punch hard enough.
Yeah. But
you're pulling punches.
I didn't know at 18, 19 years old. I didn't know that that's what that was.
Yeah.
But
no, I know.
That was
That's
it.
why, like, on the podcast, of course, Ryan, we say you can't watch everything.
Yeah.
But the other, I would say, motto that you have is everyone's dealing with something.
Oh, yeah, man.
Every single person is dealing with something, whatever it might be. Everybody's dealing with something. And so Gary Gulman really kind of shines a light on it. And it truly is like a stand-up special where it's not just him with the microphone, but it cuts in and out. It's him and his mom, it's him and his therapist, him and his wife, like you said, and him just talking about where he was, where he is now, and hopefully kind of where he's going. But
yeah, and it's a great watch.
It was pretty powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
It was good. I'm gonna go on a lighter note for the pick of the pod then, because I just saw that. I really liked it. I had finally, like, this movie's been out for a long time, but I just saw it. Was Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh my God, what'd you think?
Funny. I liked it.
Awesome, right?
I thought it was really good.
Good.
I wasn't sure what to expect. So I'm like, is this like I've seen Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it going to be all funny? Is it going to try to be scary? What's it going to be? But I get sucked right in. It's on Netflix right now. It's only an hour and a half.
I was going to say, it's like an hour and 28 minutes or something. It's
quick. It's good. It is. So if you're looking for a horror movie, like, I mean, in quotes, that you haven't seen yet, Tucker and Dale versus Evil is a good one. Check it out.
It's Alan Tudyk, who's great.
Not one or three.
Not one or three. Alan Tudyk's.
And
that guy, a total that guy.
That guy, the big fella there.
The big fella. He's a total that guy. If you've seen Zack and Miri, he's the Huck It Chuck It football guy.
Yeah.
And just a smoking hot blonde.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Was that the girl that was in 30 Rock? Like,
I think so.
Okay. Was like their intern or whatever?
Yeah.
Is that her? So. It looks like her if it's
I think so. Yeah. But a nice spin on like hillbilly slashers.
Yes.
Like Cabin in the Woods kind of thing. Yeah.
Actually, really good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. Next episode. I'm excited for this next episode, Ryan, that we're going to have out. I don't know when I'm going to release it or when we're going to release it because it's Dorktober. So
sure.
Keep your fucking eyes peeled.
Head on a swivel.
Do us the favor, please. Yeah. But Mac and Goo are going to be hosting a horror trivia contest at Idle Hands. Unfortunately, you and I can't go.
Yes.
So Goo is going to ask us horror trivia.
And I'm going to get smoked, by the way. You know way more horror than I do.
Well, let's find out.
We're
going to find out. We'll see how we're going to do it. But Goo's going to join us for a horror trivia episode, and we will release that. And don't worry, if you're going to Idle Hands, we're going to play it after that. So you're not going to steal any answers or anything like that.
Right.
But that's that. You can rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, just about anywhere else that podcasts are available. Radio.com app, we're on there. Twitter at Dork Podcast. You can email us, dorkpodcast@gmail.com. And on YouTube, you can stream this episode. This episode right now is on YouTube. You can watch us. You can look at us. You can judge us. You can do whatever you want. Go to youtube.com/Dork Podcast.
Look
at that. Davey's
wearing a thing.
Wearing the apparel.
I'm flying the flag. I'm an employee.
That's what Davey got for 3 years of service. That's what he got right there with a pullover.
Yeah.
It's a nice little pullover. Ryan, that's gonna do it. Again, #Dorktober4. So keep your eyes peeled because there will be episodes at a moment's notice. Anything else? No. I don't know how to end an episode.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. I don't know. Just leave them, I guess.